So in the meantime, let me tell you something about Jewish Quater. It used to be a separate city called Kazimierz. They had Kazimierz. Before the Second World War, in a Jewish quarter, there was something about 60,000 citizens, mostly Jews. Right now, and I'm not lying, there is less than 300 Jews in the whole city.
300?
Less than 300 even. Most of them was murdered or, left the country after the Second World War.
The town hall of Kazimierz. The town hall of Kazimierz is located at the Wolnica Square in Krakow. It was built in the 14th century as the town hall of the town of Kazimierz, which at present is a part of Krakow. Currently, it is a seat of the Ethnographic Museum.
And this massive building on the left side, during the Second World War, Gestapo used that building for a prison and the headquarters. And right now we are in the ghetto, and after we, do the ghetto and the Schindler's factory, we come back to finish the Jewish Quarter. Yes, I'm always doing like half of the Jewish Quarter, then ghetto, and come back to the Jewish Quarter. So it's called Podgórze area. It's really poor district of the town. Most of the ground was bought here by rich companies or poor families, because over here after the war the ground was really cheap,
Yeah.
But right now, like no one wants to live on this place because of the historical reasons, also because of the it's far away from a city center. If you don't have your own car, you'll be driving like more than 1 hour to get to the city center by public transport. About the chores. Nazis was making here a public execution. They were gathering all the citizens from the ghetto, gathering over here on that square, choosing one or two from a crowd and killing them in the front of the crowd, when something wasn't going by their will, So there is like 69 chairs for 69 Jews that was killed here by Nazis during the Second World War. And the owner of the pharmacy, Tadeusz Pankiewicz, he was one of the few people who tried to help Jews survive at the ghetto. For example, he provides news, also food and liquids and medicine stuff, But the biggest hero over here is Oskar Schindler, because most of the buildings over here on the left side were sold to the other companies to work as normal places and not to waste them. And they left a few out as a museum of the factory,
Okay.
It was a really huge factory, metal goods factory.
What did they do again?
Metal goods.
That's why he was making pots and pans and things, wasn't he?
For example, parts to the trains, also to the road, all the metal goods.
Right.
And it was a really huge factory, over 3,000 employees. The Nazism was trying to make here a military factory, but the Schindler didn't make agree for that. And he kept the factory from inside, He set guards outside of the factory and protected it really well. So the museum of the factory is exactly this building over here on the left.
That's right.
I have got from the desk. They go to all those
That was part of the factory. We went in that way.
The whole factory was like factory over here behind that, but just building looks like
At the price of risking his own life, he decides to rescue Jews and their families who are working for him. With extreme exertions and massive financial input, he provides his Jews with food and sense of security, all that is missing in the other camps. Pretending to work for the measures of building the Third Reich, he employs more and more useless labor force in his factory. As he is aware of the tragic destiny of Jewish children and elders, He saved their lives by concealing the real age of the employees. Being afraid of the occupant, he sets guards around the factory. He himself does not leave his Jews day and night. When, in the second half of the year 1944, Germans want to murder the Jews before retreating their forces escaping the approaching Eastern Front, Schindler relocates his factory into Sudety Mountains with all the employees.
And right now we are like inside of the ghetto, not at the outside, you know?
Right.
And it was one really huge ghetto, because over here you can imagine that was the truest part of the wall. And the ghetto Hero Square was the middle of that, so it was a really huge ghetto.
Paintings and other elements in everyday life in this district. On view is the exhibition Jewish Kazimierz in the 19th and 20th centuries.
Siostra poszła kiedyś? A gdzie to? Ojej, przyszła tutaj i sobie usiadła, ale nie wiedziałam.